What you know about this? This is the best combat sports show, bar none. Welcome to the Beatdown.
Yeah.
This is the Badger. I'm Brew.
Yeah.
We'll bring you a good show again today. Welcome to Monday. Happy Monday. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, Monday fastly becoming my favorite day of the week. Shout out to Larry June, man. Hey. Listen, we had some boxing this weekend, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, a lot of rain. It's very green out here, bro. I'm enjoying the ambiance of our outdoor studios. And the beauty of our outdoor studios is that every day kind of feels like a new set. We switch up the background a little bit. We alter the scenery a little bit. It's always a little something different.
I think this background is going to be here for a while.
That's
It's going to be here for a while.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. Not at all. Hey, we got a big show coming at you. Lot of interesting perspective on things.
Well, that's always a DF. Interesting. Whenever I hear
what is
someone say something's interesting, I automatically be like, I don't know. It causes me to question your judgment, because now I got to really feel like whatever you're talking about, is it really interesting or not? I don't know.
Question this. We'll be right back.
Introduce you to the greatest combat sports show bar none. You are now in the Beatdown.
You wanna get beat down?
Let us now introduce you to your host, the Badger, and
Welcome back. I found out what a DF is, and I'm sorry I asked. All right, so we got boxing. The sweet sides.
Yeah, man, it went down this weekend in Tulsa, Oklahoma, man.
Yes.
Uncle Bob, they threw a party in Oklahoma. And according to the Gap Band, Tulsa ain't a bad place to be. Could be wrong. But I don't
they
know.
went to Houston. Go ahead.
Huh?
I thought they went to Houston. I thought they left Tulsa.
Oh, they probably did leave Tulsa, bro. I'm just saying that's where they started at.
Black Wall Street. Stand up.
Back there in Greenwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that and all that. But listen, fight broke out. And Commey versus Pedraza, bro. It was, for what it was worth, it was a good fight to watch. We talked about this last week, hashtag Watch the Pod. We knew that both guys, they're contenders. Neither one of these guys were going to win a belt at 35, and I don't think either one of us see these guys winning a belt at 140. All those stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, good fight.
Yeah.
Was a draw. I don't know what that means for either guy. Hopefully a rematch, maybe, so they can get some more money. But it was a competitive fight. I thought Commey started out strong.
Okay.
He was usually a front runner, honestly.
Yeah.
And then Pedraza came on late. So it was like the tale of two fights, so to speak.
And it fit both of their profiles.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. A fight doesn't always do that.
No. But here's the question, bro. And I think we discussed this on the show the other day.
Right.
Where does either one of these guys go?
A rematch?
With each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. That probably make the most sense.
Somebody had to come out looking dominant to really move up.
Right, or to warrant a shot at another
Correct.
hold or something. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and that didn't happen.
No. I mean, if y'all look average or the same,
Yeah.
you didn't separate yourself.
No.
A draw. How do you feel about that? You put all that training and hard work in. Now, if you felt like you were losing and got a draw, you felt blessed.
Well, yeah.
If you felt like you were winning and got a draw, that could be demoralizing.
Well, here's the thing about a draw, especially in combat sports. It's not a loss.
Right.
It is not a win.
Right.
It is not a win, but it is not a loss. Losses affect your purse. Losses determine how much you get paid. If you take a draw, then your pay probably stays relatively the same. Or if it was a very good competitive fight and the crowd loved it, then maybe I give you a little bit more to run it back.
So let me ask you this question.
Okay.
You're contracted, right? you're guaranteed $2.5 million for this fight, and you lose, you still get paid your $2.5 million, right?
In boxing, yes.
So it affects your purse for the next fight.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So the earning potential for the next fight, I should have clarified that. You're right. Your earning potential for the next fight usually decreases with a loss.
Gotcha.
Unless you're a current champion and your loss came in a great, maybe it's a split decision or a controversial fight, then, you know, maybe, okay. But yeah, if you just take a loss, that normally comes back to haunt you. Anyway, so those guys duked it out to a draw. Mm-hmm. But we got to see Big Baby Anderson, bro. Mm-hmm. We both like this kid. We both talked about whether this was his last fight as a showcase,
Right.
whether it's time for him to step it up or not. And if he does, where do we see him in the heavyweight landscape? I tell you what, he's a good fighter.
Okay.
He's good, bro. He has some skill. And he has a lot of quickness too. He's an athlete, bro. This kid would easily be playing on somebody's Division I team on a Saturday or getting ready to play in the league.
Okay.
I like the way they're bringing him along. He's about 240 pounds. So he's a pretty big kid. I think they got him listed at about 6'4", 6'3", 6'4". He's a big dude. His footwork, his ring awareness, I like this. He did a lot of sparring with Tyson Fury. I just don't know, bro.
Does he beat an Usyk?
Man,
I
that
mean,
would
when
be
you
a
talk
good
about
fight.
bringing somebody along,
And that's what it, right? Man, no, he doesn't.
does he beat a Joshua? Two separate styles.
I know, and these dudes, it's
That's
such a
who he's gonna have to
size
beat.
disparity, right? And when I say that, it's not just the numbers; it's the way that the weight is carried, right? Josh was a big guy, man, all the way through. You're not really moving him around the ring very much. If Jarrell Anderson can fight strictly from the pocket, then I like that. I like his chances. I don't like his chances to get somebody like Wilder because I feel like what would make Jared Anderson special wouldn't transition well to get somebody like Wilder because Wilder matches your quickness, he matches your fast twitch, and even with Anderson being so young, probably his ring IQ,
Right.
right? But yeah, for the heavyweight landscape, I like this kid. I'm really interested to see where he goes next.
So he's about 2 or 3 years away
That's
from
such
you
a tough
putting him in
call.
that.
Yeah, but see, now we don't know what happens with Joshua at this point. What's left in his tank? And what I mean by that is just mentally. I'm not talking about the fact he lost to arguably one a pound for pound, and some people say the pound for pound best fighter out right now. So I'm not judging that. I'm just judging where this dude is mentally, because I don't know.
And that's tough when you say arguably the pound for pound bet. I would have argued that until I really started looking at this man's
Yeah,
pedigree.
Usyk's the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, you were the cruiserweight champion. Was he ever the light heavyweight champion? Or he started at
Oh
cruiserweight?
man, that is a good. I don't think so. I think he always kind of hung out at cruiserweight. I should have researched this better. I don't know, bro, but I think his reign. No, his reign might have started at light heavyweight because I think there were 3 guys from the Ukraine they had ranked in the top
That's
at light
what I was
heavyweight.
thinking, yeah.
Bivol, Usyk, and Gadav's.
Yeah,
the one,
yeah.
the nail, the one that got beaten to retirement.
So-
So I think that might be right, but I'm sure somebody that's out there in the YouTube universe let us know. If I'm
That's
wrong.
going to be interesting because if he is, then he's a top 3 division champion. And you don't see that often.
Yeah,
Roy
Usyk-
Jones.
Yeah, a few guys. James
it
Toney. It ain't
Tarver?
many.
James
it ain't
Toney?
many. Yeah. It ain't many.
I think they've all been Americans up until this point.
Yeah. We got to see Tiger Johnson also, another prospect the Top Rank had. I talked about him on the show.
Yeah.
And he looked good. He got a TKO stoppage over his opponent. So all in all for Top Rank, good showing. All their guys won. They all dazzled. They all looked the part. So
Now, you talked about pay window. So in the next segment, I got to ask you about pay window for MMA. So,
okay. And before we jump off the boxing boat, bro, we got the big boys throwing some fisticuffs this weekend, man. The guys that you like to see. Andy Ruiz,
Yes.
and my dog.
Yes.
We don't know how old he is.
Yes.
Okay, from Cuba. Luis.
Luis Ortiz.
You know what I'm saying? King Kong.
Yes.
How excited are you for this fight, bro?
I'm very excited
Me
for
too.
this fight, man.
Me too.
I am very excited for this fight. I like Luis Ortiz.
Yeah,
I like an in shape and focused Andy Ruiz.
because they're gonna fight.
Yes.
Because they're gonna fight.
Yes, you're gonna see skill and brutality. from each
Latino on Latino
Cuba
violence
versus
this weekend.
Mexico.
Cubans versus Mexicans.
Now, Andy Ruiz, he's from Mexico or is he of Mexican heritage?
He's Mexican heritage. I think Andy was born in the States.
So it's funny how they build him as the first Mexican heavyweight champion.
They gotta sell tickets.
Yeah. Mexico bought up on that.
We got
too.
listen. We got to build up the hype on this thing. We can't let this go to
Listen.
waste.
Listen.
This man came here and took his shirt out, and everybody almost walked out, and he knocked out Anthony Joshua. Kind of
Yeah.
shit,
That was funny. That was hilarious.
man. Get me the hell out of here, man.
I know
Shouts out
Wilder
Andy
was sitting
Ruiz,
there
though.
going, I could have done this.
Listen, if you hashtag watch the pod though, we talked about that fight, and neither one of us picked him to win. But I remember us specifically saying, "Hey man, Andy Ruiz can fight. He
Yeah.
got some fast hands.
Yeah.
We don't know if that's gonna be enough."
And he
but when
only
this-
had one loss at that point.
right, and when this dude let his hands go, it's pretty impressive to see. We said that,
Yeah.
but
And even that loss was questionable
yeah,
up
But
to that point.
we just didn't think though. But boy,
No.
did he show the world.
He showed the way. And more importantly, he showed Anthony Joshua.
He did show Joshua. And what Anthony Joshua should do to lighten his spirits.
That's
Good
a
morning,
good
all my
question.
cheek clappers out there, man. Listen, I know y'all was waiting on it. I had to slide it in. My partner was waiting on it. He's chipper this morning. He's lively, endorphins pumping, a little bit of sweat. Never hurt nobody, bro. Get your cheek clapping in this morning. Clap, clap, clap.
I'm going to let him deal with that. I ain't got nothing to say on it. We'll be right back.
You're listening to your favorite fighter's favorite show. You're inside the Beat Down on the Fighter Share Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Beatdown, sponsored by the Fighter Share Report.
on the Fizzer Network.
You just can't be afraid. You can't be afraid to put your face in it. Sometimes you gotta run to these things face first. That's all.
And we're talking about combat sports. Will, listen, MMA,
Yeah.
pay window. Is that affected by your current win and loss? Like if you lose tonight, do you get a separate amount from if you win?
Yeah. And that's pretty standard. It's called win and show or show and win.
Wow.
You know, once you get to the elite though, and once you get up to these big boys, no, actually I think they still do show and win. Unless it's a championship fight, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's still a show and win.
Wow.
I have to go back and do my research. As somebody that's in management, I should know this. But yeah, I think they still do show and win, man.
That's sad.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
They should do that in the NFL.
That'll never happen. Bro,
No, it won't, but it should.
we got a fight going on this weekend.
Yes.
And listen, shout out to all of our MMA heads out there, because I think MMA as a whole took a collective weekend off. Between Bellator, PFL, and the UFC, they've been going at it.
yes.
So everybody took a collective weekend off,
Yes.
and now we're back, and the UFC rolls out.
But we don't really want to get into it today, do we?
I mean, what else you want to get into, bro? We don't have to.
Let's talk about arguably one of the pound for pound greats in the UFC. And we know we have people who will argue this and say no. And we're not talking about George St. Pierre. We're not talking about Matt Hughes. We're not talking about any of the Gracies. We're talking about Demetrius Johnson.
Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse. The one that Dana White called out publicly and said wasn't charismatic enough to be a champion.
Ooh, wasn't charismatic enough. Was that a code word? No, it wasn't. He just didn't like the man's personality.
Or lack thereof, as he was saying. When he called Conor McGregor the greatest, the pound for pound best at that time, And McGregor had what, 2 title defenses?
He was counting the shmoney, man.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
I ain't mad at Dana. I like Conor McGregor too.
I don't like him as pound for pound better and a better champion than Demetrius Johnson.
Well, if we're talking about selling tickets, because that's all we really talking about.
We're talking about wins. We're talking
Oh,
about
boy.
11 title defenses.
Yeah. Well, I like Mighty Mouse, bro. And here's the thing. He was probably just a little bit ahead of his time. And what I mean by that is, for all the things Dana didn't like about him, all those things now are reasons for people to pull for you more. Prime example, Kamaru Usman was not the champion Dana White wanted, but the champion he deserved.
Right.
And now we've got to really embrace Usman and all of in his personality. I think had Demetrius Johnson come along a little bit later, then Dana would have, I think, would have kind of seen the same thing because he was too dominant to be ignored. Like, this dude, they couldn't find anybody to even really compete with him for a while. Like, it was pretty bad.
Listen, it wasn't that long ago. He dealt with the Matt Hughes era. Matt Hughes was not charismatic. Matt Hughes was not controversial.
But we know what it is, bro. Come on, man. Like, let's stop acting like we don't know. And
No,
when we
but
know,
these
we
are
can
the
call that out.
arguments that were put out. These were the arguments that were made.
Okay.
But listen, if y'all get a chance, go on and watch Demetrius' story. And then come back and tell me from that he should not be considered pound for pound in the pantheon of the UFC.
Now, here's the thing, bro. I'm with you on that, but Dana doesn't decide that. That, fortunately for us, is decided by people like us, sports writers, and just people that consume the sport. No one's going to argue that. And then especially what he just did this weekend. Because if I'm not mistaken, #watch the pod, you turned your back on your boy.
No, I
when
did
I
not.
asked you,
No,
I said,
I
bro,
did not.
I said, bro,
I ain't turning my back.
what's
on him.
going to happen? And you said the same thing happened in the last fight. And I said, what does that mean? He was like, man, that young dude was just bad.
#watch the pod and ask me if I did not put a key word in there.
What was that key word?
If.
But
If.
oh, okay, ifs and fifths and buts, okay.
Right.
And I had to give you that because by the letter of the law, my friend, you are correct. If you threw an if in there, then that was your out, and I'll give you that. See, I'll concede.
Listen, that guy he fought was so dominant the first time they fought Mighty Mouse.
Okay.
When you look at that fight,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, wow. I mean, just the way he won the fight. And again, he didn't pummel him. When I went back and looked at it, he didn't pummel him, but he decisively beat him and then got the submission.
So, is it safe to? So let's just get right to it. Did Demetrius Johnson fight a better fight this Saturday?
Yes.
Did the opponent overlook him? What was the
No.
reasoning behind this win?
I don't
Because you didn't
believe-
see it coming.
I don't believe you can overlook Mighty Mouse. If you do, you're stupid.
Well, that's spoken from some of the people that are not competing. If I know I'm better than you, I don't give a damn who you are. If I'm in Leon Edwards' head right now, can't nobody tell him that Usman is better.
No,
Nah, they gonna
shouldn't
run it
be able
back.
to.
Okay.
They shouldn't be.
Okay.
But I guarantee he won't overlook Kamaru Usman
It ain't
in
a-
the rematch.
Well,
Now, that was your question. Did he
When I-
overlook Mighty
okay.
Mouse?
And when I say overlook, what I mean is my confidence giving me a false sense of my own vulnerability.
Keep in mind, this guy, if I'm not mistaken, was 17-0.
In the way he ragdolled Demetrius Johnson in the first fight, why would he not feel like he could do it again? I got all the intangibles. I'm
Right,
younger,
right.
I'm bigger, I'm faster. And I folded this dude up last time. He didn't really offer me a whole lot of resistance. So
But-
why should I feel going into this fight if I
Because-
come in the best shape, if I come in just as good or a
Right,
little bit better,
right.
then why should he win? And why should I feel
Because
like he would win?
your trainer, whoever, should at least say, hey, let's look at what happened in his previous losses when he got a rematch.
Yeah, but
Let's
he's-
look at how he comes in the second time around.
And that is cool but I'm only going by what was thrown out there. We talked about all the ways this younger man was better.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't have to go back and look at his old fights. I'm looking at
I'm
his
not fighting
last
him
fight.
though. I'm not the one in there fighting.
No,
him.
I'm talking about his opponent, Moraes. I know
Yeah.
I'm butchering his name. That's not how you pronounce it because he's Brazilian, right? So it's pronounced differently, I think. Either way,
It's no longer pronounced champion, right?
that's what it ain't. It ain't that. But I don't know, bro. I just think that
And I can admit, I didn't give my man. And I've long hashtag watch the pod. I've long been an advocate for Demetrius Johnson.
oh yeah.
So for me not to give him the respect that I should have given him on the last podcast, I apologize because that man has earned it.
Yeah. But I mean, look. The beauty about the fight game is stranger things have happened, bro. We
Yeah.
just saw Usman get flatlined with 50 seconds
Yes.
left in the fight.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, I'm not surprised by the win, but this is the question now, bro. If there's a rubber match, and I guess if you won championship, this is
it's
your
gotta
biggest
be a
fight.
rubber
Yeah,
match.
I gotta
Yeah.
bring this back, right?
Yeah. It's got to come back. It's got to. Simply because there's too many arguments to be made out there.
Yeah.
Because of the first fight.
Right.
If this had happened in the first fight, you wouldn't have seen Moraes in the phone in the ring cage, whatever, with Johnson again.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't believe he would have gotten the
I want to
rematch.
know what I want to know what the ratings or what the drawing power was on this fight, and I would like to see what it does on the next fight. This is the opportunity for one championship to really. I know they're more of an international based organization promotion, but they can really try to make some headway here. Demetrius Johnson is a name. You got the backstory. You got a rubber match. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
They are the UFC of Asia.
Yeah. Figure it out.
So this is gonna be good. I look forward to it. I'm happy for Demetrius Johnson. I'm happy for his family. I like the fact that he just goes in and does his business. He doesn't have to berate people. He can just get in and beat you.
And now you're back pulling on his bags. Listen.
Whatever.
Next week, the UFC rolling out Cyril Gane, Ty Tuivasa, Bobby Knuckles, Marvin Vettori. It's going to be a Saturday card starting early in the afternoon because it's holiday weekend, bro. I'm looking forward to that card.
Where's the fight?
It's somewhere overseas, I think.
It's in Bali.
That body, that's right.
That's why it's an afternoon fight.
Cyril backyard.
Because we're talking 6-7 hours difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be good. Hey, we'll
Bonjour.
be right back with a little history about some wrestling.
You listening to your favorite fighters' favorite show. You're inside the Beat Down on the Fighter Share Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Beatdown, sponsored by the Fighter Share Report
On the Fizzer.
Network. Hey,
You paid a man and you cut him off.
yeah, I sure did.
That's just like some black folks.
Nah,
Listen,
he walked out because he didn't get paid.
the air conditioner is really kicking today, bro.
This is nice.
And I just want to let you know, for everybody out there, man, this is a good day in time. Just float.
Listen, get out and enjoy the weather while you can, because if you're in Florida, it's going to get hot and it's going to storm. So while the breeze is flowing, get your juices going. Get outside. have
Clap
a
some
good
cheeks
time.
and float.
Not outside. This is not
Yeah.
hedonism. This is
Hedonism.
not hedonism.
Hedonism goes hard.
No
Literally.
pun intended.
Yep.
Listen. When we start talking about wrestling and we start talking about professional wrestling now looks a whole lot different than it did in its origins in this country.
Spandex?
No.
No? Okay.
It was closer to MMA before there was MMA. Like Carl Gotch was one of the biggest names in catch-as-catch-can wrestling.
Oh, boy.
Carl Gotch was the guy that the
Gotch.
Gracies did not want to fight. I'm talking about the original set of Gracies. Carl went down to
It's
Rio
a lot
de
of graces.
Janeiro.
It's a lot of graces. I just want to put it out there. They was clapping cheeks. It's a lot of graces, bro.
Carl went down to Rio de Janeiro back in the
Before the Olympics?
30s, 40s, I think 50s. I think it might have been the 50s. He went down to Rio de Janeiro and he beat the original Gracies on their home soil. He had a lot of death threats. I think he got attacked a couple times, but he was proving that catch-as-catch-can wrestling was dominant in any of your martial arts when it came to fighting.
What is the modern term for catch-can wrestling? It's
That
not
is
called
the
that.
modern term.
Are you sure it's still called that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you don't have too many people doing it anymore.
Okay.
But that's how professional wrestling started out. You didn't have a determined winner.
So what we're competing for?
You were competing for, and that's what I was going to get to. You had a pay window, and that's where the term pay window came from. When you won, you went to one window to get your money. When you lost, you went to the other. And you
Okay.
got paid based on whether you won or whether you lost. That's how you got paid. And these guys would travel around the country beating the crap out of each other. And they'd all have to travel together. But they knew when they got in the ring, you had to perform. And it wasn't about looking good and glamorous. It was about literally winning. And that's where the realness from the olden days of professional wrestling came from, until a couple of guys got together and said, hey, if we're going to be able to do this long term, we may want to find out how to make this look real, but not hurt each other every fight.
Huh. Interesting. I can see that. It makes sense. Because now it's the complete opposite. Now there is a determined winner. It's predetermined, and there's lots of spandex to help make this look attractive.
Here we go with the spandex.
Because what you have to understand, bro, is that a part of what you're talking about, making this look real, you also have to look the part. So now for a brief period of time, everybody was buff, chiseled, ripped up, these big dudes. Now you're seeing the body types change. Correct? Like we talked about, #WatchThePot, the WWE tryouts. They're no longer looking for everybody being the big former collegiate wrestler or football player. Now they're looking for smaller, slimmer built people. All of this is a part of the allure you're talking about to making the product entertaining and sellable.
Well, what you're talking about is the history of the WWF, WWF, and the WWE. You always had those alternative body types in WCW, which came from the NWA. They didn't always have the big chisel guys.
Or you
Hence,
just-
Dusty Rhodes.
Or you just had the fat guys that just like the guy in the bar.
But then you had guys who looked they were in shape, like Tully Blanchard. Tully Blanchard looked good in a suit. He looked like your in shape guy who was at the baseball game drinking a beer watching the sun play. But he was in shape. He just didn't go for that bodybuilder type. You know, in the WWE, you didn't see guys with hair on their chest. You didn't. They were shaved, oiled, muscular. WCW, they had the happy trail. I'm just saying.
A lot of mullets too.
A lot of mullets
A
too.
lot of this going on.
You had guys-
They perfected this thing.
You had
Swinging the
guys
hair.
in WCW like Lex Luger, but then you also had guys like I said, like Dick Murdoch, Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, but those guys went the way. They paved the way for, because when you start talking about Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, that's when you start getting into how everybody has to look that part. The
But
late
they were
80s,
in
early
this-
90s.
They were at the same time,
Yeah, but those guys eventually phased out, is what I'm saying.
and they were in a different organization.
Yeah, true. But then once they merged, that was over with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once they merged,
Yeah.
you had a few guys like that didn't look McMahon's part, but you're right. The ones who came to the top, but then you have like a Shawn Michaels.
Who was in shape?
He's in shape, but he's not WWE in shape.
Yeah, he didn't like a steroid guy.
No.
He like a guy that just worked out, or he
But
goes
then
to him a
his
couple times a
partner,
week.
Triple H,
Oh yeah. Well, who was also younger, or I don't know how young he was, but Michaels was a star before Triple H. So it looked like when he came along, he was this big dude. We don't know where he was before he showed up.
look at WCW. He went by the name of Terror Rising. And then he teamed with
and
Steven
This is why you're the
Regal.
historian. True.
And he was not that big, but he was still a naturally big guy. Paul Levesque has always been a big guy
Who oils these guys up?
themselves, and then when they get to a certain level, you have backstage talent who just does that, like makeup artists.
No. Okay.
but for the most part, they oil themselves up. But
So how far along do I have to get before I get a oiler? Like, I don't want to be the oilee.
you're gonna have to get off this show.
All right, man, go ahead, bro.
I'd be darned if you're gonna sit here oiling yourself up. I know who'll do it.
Hey.
My neighbor will do it.
You gotta relax.
I'll ask
This is
my
not
neighbor
what this is not what this is
to
coming
oil
to
you
right
up.
now.
That'll be the true urban experience. My neighbor will oil you up.
You always go too far. And this is how I know this is this relationship. I don't know.
See how
because you
I
always
go
take
too
things
far?
too far, bro.
See,
Always.
I take things too far.
I never go that far with you, bro.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes, you- but you set it up. When do I get oil? I don't know.
Yeah. Meaning like
Ask Brutus. He'll tell you when you get oil.
no, I don't want to ask Brutus. I want to ask like Betty or something. Like I don't want to ask
There
Brutus.
you go.
You know.
And he tell you he don't
I'm
like
just saying
that.
these are all the hidden perks that you get as being a wrestler, bro. Like I really it's like the buffers and well, we ain't gonna talk about the buffers. Anyway.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Thank you for not mentioning the fluff girls.
Yeah. Fluffers, buffers.
Listen, that's like when you look at wrestling itself, the body types go with the industry. Like the Road Warriors were just big.
Yeah.
I mean, they were both body types. You had the
Yeah.
the guy that looked like he just drank his way to to wrestling, and the other one looked like a bodybuilder. But
Right.
both of them were bodybuilders.
Right.
John Cena started off as a bodybuilder
Okay.
and a football player.
He
but
did.
He really went into bodybuilding because it just, some people get to a level and they realize football is just not going to pay their bills.
Right.
So, and he was he was just a strong bodybuilder. He was one of those guys that never cut up. He wasn't going to have that Mr. Universe body, but he had a very impressive physique because of the intensity he put on his body through working out.
Right.
Like they used to talk about, he used to do old-fashioned hammer squats with no shoes on.
I'm not for being shoeless. That's
But
it's
you
weird.
want him to oil you up. Okay.
Well, yeah. Well,
Just- you
no,
pick and
not
choose.
him. I said somebody as in a Betty, like a woman,
Or
oil me
Becky.
up. I didn't say nothing. See,
What?
why'd you bring it back up? We was
What
past
happened?
that.
What?
We was
You just
past that.
said Betty. I'm just giving you another option.
You ain't giving me nothing. Don't give me no options.
Give you another option. Raise tickets. So,
See, that's the kind of those are the kind of inappropriate things that happen on this show, bro. And this is why
nobody knows. Nobody else knows.
they hear us, bro,
Oh.
and they see us.
Hashtag watch the pod.
Hashtag watch the pod. BKFC going to Thailand, man, in Bangkok on the 3rd, man. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. Shout out to BKFC.
Shout out to BKFC. Get the app.
Yep,
Get
check
the
them out.
app. I didn't realize I paid for the app. I thought somebody hooked me up, but I ended up having to pay for it. So
Ah, boy.
that's okay. It was worth it. So we'll be right back with Off the Cuff. Ooh, Florida. I got you in my sights.
You listening to your favorite fighter's favorite show. You're inside the Beat Down on the Fighter Share Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Beat Down, sponsored by the Fighter Share Report.
On the Fizzer.
Hey, we're back with Off the Cuff. What you got, bro? Before
Bro,
I get into mine.
Yeah, listen. I'm just trying to figure out why Aaron Rodgers is still holding on to this lie, bro. Aaron Rodgers, who is a guy that I feel like, as great as he is, he's very verbal, right? And very demonstrative in the way that he presents himself as being Aaron Rodgers, if you get my drift.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the dude's an asshole, but when Aaron Rodgers show up, he lets you know that Aaron Rodgers is showing up, right? He goes on the Joe Rogan's podcast. First of all, why are you on the podcast? Why are you on Joe Rogan's podcast? Anyway, you're on the Joe Rogan podcast,
Yeah,
and he's
should've come
doubling
on this
down. He's doubling down on the lie he told about being vaccinated. Remember when it came out and they said, are you vaccinated? And he said he was immunized.
Right.
And he's on Joe Rogan doubling down on it, saying, well, it was an intentional misdirection. Bro, you lied. They asked you a direct question, and you lied. Why not just admit it? Like, why are you still
Instead
holding
of
on to
saying
that?
it's an intentional misdirection.
Yeah, like, why
That's
are you
a lie.
Yeah.
This is why when you get a Jeopardy host on, this is what they do.
It's like alternative facts.
Right.
Okay. All right. Anyway,
Right.
I just had to put that out there. Shouts out to Aaron Rodgers.
And innuendo going wrong.
Shout out to Aaron Rodgers.
Shout out to his no-name receivers.
They better get it together.
They better get it together. Listen, Florida man. Come on, Google. Florida man arrested for trying to buy an 8-year-old girl for $100,000.
First of all, man, listen. This is what we're not gonna do.
No. Shout out to Florida.
We're not gonna jump on this
Shout out
lovely
to
platform
Florida.
and disparage Florida. First of all, I don't know if you know it or not, but everything that you love and hold dear is from Florida.
No.
And if it ain't from Florida, it
Not
resides in
everything.
Florida,
Not
except for Pops.
Everything. Mom, hey,
Mom's is here.
everything. My
Wife,
sister,
baby
my
girl.
brother,
Yeah, I said,
my nieces.
yeah, but you a Florida dude. Anyway,
I know.
listen, we need to come up with a disclaimer. When people start talking bad about Florida, bro, we need to come up with like a list.
No.
And the list needs to show if you are a Floridian,
I'm not a
native,
Floridian.
or if you're
I
a
am,
transplant. Because
listen,
that should be putting these titles
Florida
now.
man
No,
arrested
where is he
for
from?
trying to buy. He's
No,
from Florida.
no.
They
Is he
say
a
he's
native?
from- yes, he's native. He's an 85-year-old man. Went up to this woman, and
Where is
you
he
know he
from?
was in Florida because
No.
he went to Winn-Dixie and tried to pay this woman $100,000
That's not
for
a-
her daughter.
That's not a Florida thing. That's a southeastern thing. And
No,
if
bro.
you want to be technical, if you'd have said public side, I'd be like, yep, definitely Florida, man. Listen, where is he
Port
from? now?
Orange is where he lives now.
That's Jacksonville. But what I'm trying to figure out is where. See, Florida get a bad rap. Y'all want to talk about Florida being crazy, but y'all do know that most of the people that are here
Listen
are
to this.
not from here.
Listen to this. This was an intentional misdirection. Listen to this.
Says the man that
Listen
loves
to
Florida.
this. This is hilarious. Listen, this same man was on probation for trying to buy another child for $100,000 at a Walmart. What aisle do they sell children in, bro?
The front.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Walmart, bro. Everything must go.
I mean, at this point, they arrested this man, but they just tased him and beaten him and shot him.
Artemis 1 is taking off
Right now,
sometime.
8:30 or so.
And they using old shuttle parts. Bro, would you be
What
willing to go
the?
up? Yeah. Would you be willing to go up in this new shuttle, bro? And they using old shuttle parts. And listen,
Well,
dig
this
this.
is an unmanned rocket.
Yeah, but dig this though. They using old parts of shuttles that didn't make it.
No,
And to me, that just sounds like a bad omen. Why we can't get new stuff?
no.
Like we done spent $3 billion. What's another $500 million?
Right.
Like, give me all new stuff. And it is an unmanned mission. Ain't nobody going up in it as far as I know. But I'm just saying, when they do the next one and somebody go up in it, they going to use the same parts. Because
Hey.
look, it work.
Shout out to Steve USS Cunningham. Isn't that the flat earther?
I don't know my dog a flat earther, but he does have some interesting opinions. What
Yeah,
about
it was a flat earther.
Okay.
Okay, because if we're trying and we've been spending 3 or 4 or 5 years trying to get back to the moon, if you've already been there, don't you just look at the old plans? Why do you have to invest so much money to get back to the moon if you were there in the first place?
I mean, I don't know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Actually, I do know what you're trying to do. And it's okay, bro.
Listen, $480,000 awarded to an inmate who suffered a miscarriage after sheriff's deputies stopped at Starbucks while driving her to the hospital. And guess where this took place? Madeira Beach. Where's that, bro? Florida, stand up.
Yeah, man. Listen,
Actually, was that Florida? No, this is people acting like Florida. This happened in Orange County, California.
oh, well, looky
This
there.
was
You
in
had,
my
you had to,
Florida expanded.
you had to
version.
pull a Trump and try to redact that, didn't
Nope.
you? You spoke too soon.
Nope.
California stand up is what you should
Yes.
say.
California,
And don't say
you
they trying to
acting
act
like
like
Florida.
no, they just being California.
California acting like
Listen,
Florida.
if you cared enough, then
Send the
you
very
would know. Listen, California just being California. Just like Baltimore is simply being Baltimore. We don't have to talk about that, dude, because we all get it. It's implied. It doesn't have to be said. When I say you being Baltimore, you kind of get it. You know what that means.
Right, that's why they call Baltimore Charm City.
yeah, we speak
They don't call
opposites.
nothing about Florida charming.
And we don't try to tell stories. We tell it just how it is. There's nothing
No,
charming
you
about
don't.
Baltimore.
No, you don't, Ron DeSantis. No, you don't.
Ron DeSantis does not speak for Florida.
He speaks for you.
No, he don't. Just like whoever called Baltimore Charm City don't speak for Charm City,
Yes,
except
it does,
everybody
'cause
adopted
is
it and
Charm
started
City,
believing it.
baby. It is Charm City. You know the personality of the show is from Baltimore.
Yeah, right.
We don't have to dress it up and make it look nice for people to like it. They just like it because it is.
We had some college football this weekend, and next weekend
No.
we get more college
Before
football.
we go to
bro.
next weekend, Florida A&M, Florida Agricultural Mechanical University.
HBCU.
27 players suspended, not just from this game, but from next game. Not for anything the players did, but what the administration failed to do.
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
But this is what happens when you fire an athletic director who's not doing your bidding but doing the right thing and replace him with somebody who isn't even on the search list. So this is what you get. Shout out to the Rattlers.
I mean, that was very personal, bro. I didn't like the way you did that, bro. You took a shot. And it's okay. I will say this, though.
I'm listening.
They're going to right the ship.
They're going to have to.
They're going to right the ship.
And I'm not
And-
saying that towards the Rattler players or fans. I'm saying that towards the administration who made that horrible move. Because moves that you make with your own ego tend to affect a whole lot of other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll probably lose your coach who was really on the verge of rebuilding your program.
Yeah, that was not a good look, especially on the opening weekend of college football. And for a program that has been getting a lot of visibility, this is going to be a good look. Chapel Hill didn't look very good.
No.
So you would think if Florida A&M was at full strength,
They would have
that
beaten
game probably would have been a little more competitive, especially going into the second half.
They'd have beaten
But I mean, I'm not going to say that.
They would have
but yeah, just not a good look. Coach Simmons and those guys got to really get together up there on the highest of Seven Hills. You got a lot of eyes watching. And unfortunately, you're going to get this compare and contrast because they look at what Eddie is doing in Nashville. They look
And
at
your
what Dion
opponent
is doing
next
in
week?
Jackson over at Jackson
State.
State in Jackson.
And y'all face them this weekend coming up.
Yeah, so it's just, you got to – sometimes it's best to tread water than sinking. And like you said, sometimes egos get in the way. But, yeah, well, I don't want to jump down and jump on them for it, even though I probably should. But I think you've done enough. So
Listen.
hopefully they right the ship.
History repeats itself for those that don't study it. Look at what USF did when they were so quick to get rid of Jim Leavitt. I'm not saying Jim Leavitt was the best coach. I'm not saying he was a great guy, but he could recruit, and he got USF to a certain standard, and then you brought in Skip Holtz because you wanted the name. Doug Willard, right?
Yeah.
Has USF fully rebounded from that disaster?
Yes. What hurt South Florida was losing Willie Taggart.
Okay, so we did bounce back.
Yeah.
With Willie Taggart,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And then Taggart left, and
Yep.
we just
And that's been
Charlie
bad
Strong
since.
was done when we brought him in,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate
Yeah.
because I do believe if we had gotten Charlie Strong when we got Skip Holtz, it'd have been a whole different ball game.
I mean, programs like this are going to always be in flux, but you have to find the guy that's a program guy, and you're not going to get that building from the outside. They've had a lot of candidates that were internal guys that would have stayed through all these transitions, and they decide to overshoot their shot. So,
Yeah. Well, let's see what this one can do. We got a couple of good transfers, and we'll see what they can do from here.
yeah.
Wow. All right. We'll be right back.
You're listening to your favorite fighters' favorite show. You're inside the Beat Down on the Fighter Share Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Beatdown, sponsored by the Fighter Share Report.
On the Fizzer Network.
Welcome back. Hey, we thank y'all for sticking it out with us. This is Monday, baby, a beautiful Monday. It's just starting to get hot out here, so it's a good time to be wrapping this show up.
Yeah, I mean, we always bring good shows, bro. It's just kind of what we do. We're really good at it. We got a lot going on, bro. It's a lot more that's about to happen for us. I know people look at us and they don't really see a lot of the foundation that's being laid, nor should they. But some big things about to happen for us. So y'all make sure y'all stay subscribed and plugged in and tuned in and all that good stuff, man.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah.
Turn
Again,
your
big fights coming up this weekend. King Kong Ortiz, Andy Ruiz, Cyril Gane, Tai Tuivasa. The weekend of heavyweights, bro. Real quick, which one is going to grab your attention a little more than the other?
Oh man, come on, dude. The Ortiz Ruiz fight.
Yeah. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. I was just curious.
I like Cyril Gane. I just don't know if that's gonna be competitive.
And that's the academic in you, bro. That's the academic in you, because we know what Tai Tuivasa does well. None of those things will probably help him against Cyril Gane, but we also know a fight is a fight. And when you got big guys swinging, it don't take but one. But I would imagine this fight will kind of look. It'll remind us maybe of the fight against Derek Lewis, where it's just a Swiss Army knife in there with a big butcher knife, and you'll see Cyril Gane just take this fight places that Tuivasa is just not comfortable.
Well, this is a big fight for Cyril Gane, and I know we're gonna get to it Thursday, but it's a big fight for Cyril Gane because if I'm not mistaken, this is his first fight since Francis, right?
I think so.
And a lot of people question his heart in the Francis fight,
Yeah.
and his willingness to fight.
Yeah.
So they put him in with somebody with power. Probably not as talented as Francis, but still has a lot of power.
Yeah.
To see if he is willing to get in there and mix it up. So,
All right.
hey, shout out to the Queen Mother. Shout out to the Queen who celebrated her birthday. She let me make dinner for her this weekend, and she was full and happy. And,
Good, man,
shout out to
good.
the Princess, and shout out to the Red Belly and Pops and Mom.
That's dope, man. Listen, y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, follow us. Keep up everywhere with us, everywhere that y'all get y'all podcasts. Y'all know where that's at. Podcasts and podcasts, all that in between. Listen, shout out to the Hillsborough County Anti-Bullying Awards. We always got to get them a plug in. Make sure y'all catch us next week. Hey, be a Tom Brady out there. Start something, quit it, and then
There's a
pick it
lot
back up
going
again.
on.
We'll see y'all
lot
on
going on.
Thursday. We out of here.
Shout out
Fighter
to
Show
the
Nation.
Yan King.
Peace.